Hey, welcome to Smosh Mouth. I'm Shayne.
Hey, welcome to Smosh Mouth. I'm Amanda. We have a very special guest, Arasha Leilani.
Hey.
Yes.
And this is the vibe today. This is what's up.
This is the vibe because we are so cool. We're reading Reddit.
Yeah, we're cool.
That's right. This is part 2 of exploring Reddit. We did it a while ago with Olivia, and it was a great time.
Yeah, it was.
Explored some really weird shit.
It was.
And
The
now,
mirror. The mirrors.
The
I still
mirrors.
can't get over
yeah.
that.
What does that mean?
Mirrors for Sale is a subreddit where it's photos from like Facebook Marketplace where people are selling mirrors, but in the process of taking a photo of their mirror, they also reveal everything in there. They're often wearing like just their underwear or something.
Oh, no.
It's
It's like, hey, mirror for
selfie.
sale, and then
Oh.
They just don't
Capture
check.
a lot of
They
shit.
want to like sell the mirror, so they just take it and then they're like, all right.
but it's a great example of how specific subreddits get.
Right, but that has to be intentional, right?
No. These
They
are
like
people, they're
don't
not
realize
thinking.
that they're in the photo.
They're not thinking.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what makes Reddit so great. And I am a Reddit master at this
A Redditor.
point.
What I love is that Amanda, despite not using it or knowing maybe a ton of it, I think you know a lot about it through me.
I actually
now.
go to it a lot now.
Yeah?
I'm
Wow.
not kidding. Mainly for podcasts, but I'll like ask it weird questions. I'm like, why does this teapot thing do this? Or I'm like, best teapot for this, and Reddit always pops up, and I'm like, okay.
Reddit's there for like your very, very specific questions.
And I
if
love
you have a
that.
general question, you Google it and you're probably going to get an answer from some real professional site. But if it's like, if you're missing like a very specific part to like an appliance you have, or if like you're having a very specific issue with a specific thing, you add Reddit to the end of your search. And there's a Redditor who, like, 5 years ago had the same exact specific issue as you.
Right.
And solved it.
I just feel like I always discount it when it's been like over like 2 weeks.
What do you mean?
Like if I see that the post was made like 2 years ago, I'm like, no, times were different.
Really?
No, 7 years ago, this toaster was a different thing. You had a different problem.
They
man.
don't know. They don't know. But if they made the post like a week ago, I'm like,
I don't
these are
even
my people.
look. It could be like from 2000. I'm like, oh, so I need that part.
No.
Like, I don't even fucking look.
Things are different now. You can't be doing that.
It is funny when it's like dating advice and you see it's a post from like 10 years ago. And it's like,
I don't look up that.
Why you don't need dating advice?
Not on Reddit.
I used to. I used to all the time.
Yeah.
I
Whoa.
was single and like younger. Oh yeah, you're Googling stuff all the time. You're a young. I think young dudes are constantly
On
but
Reddit for dating advice?
just the internet. Just the internet. You're just searching up things like, what's like, what should you say on a first date? What should you do here or there? Because like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now we know.
And now I'm grateful that was a time when it was like kind of a little more sparse because now you have a bunch of grifters, a bunch of dudes selling a bunch of horrible ideas.
No, I think actually I did that too. I did research.
You looked up like grifters and dudes selling horrible
No,
ideas.
you're just saying research on just
dating.
I remember when I was a kid. I don't know why I'm admitting to this on a random Thursday morning.
yeah.
But I remember searching up when I was in like middle school. I searched how to kiss.
I was just going
Yeah.
to kind of say that in like a way of poking fun.
I don't
I'm
think
so
it's
glad
I don't
did it.
think I don't think that's that weird. We have the internet like that has all of knowledge in it and it connects all the world. It's like ask it any question you want.
But it feels weird now thinking about it. Like I still remember I watched a video and they like it was two people.
You watched a video?
Yeah, it was on a site called Pornhub.
Oh,
Okay.
Whoa, they have kissing on Pornhub?
No,
I'm
no
into that.
kissing on Pornhub.
I have to like wait for
They never
Bridgerton.
kissed. It sucked. They did not help me
Didn't
out.
kiss. They showed me how to do everything else.
I was gonna say.
All right.
Wait, but did you seriously look up kissing?
Oh, I for real did.
and
yeah.
what did they say?
There was a
You get the wiki how.
there was a WikiHow, but there was a woman and she was like, "Hi, I'm going to teach you like how to kiss." And there was like a man who was there and he was a part of the video, but he was like, you know, just kind of pretending to like just exist for the sake of the content. And then she would be like, you know, she also like introduced like flirting as well, you know. She just
I
was
missed
like,
my calling. This sounds awesome.
no, it's great. And you know, she just was like, you know, look at his lips first, you know.
And he's like,
yeah, and he was like kind of into it, and I was like, I gotta take notes. Like this.
That is so
This
funny.
seems like a recent search.
Okay, it was a week ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking it up.
Understood.
I needed to know.
so funny.
Send it to me just because, like, I just want to see what's out
I'll
there.
share it with you.
Okay.
We could do like a parody.
I'm surprised you haven't searched this because you've admitted that you look up YouTube compilations of.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. But there's not, like, how-to.
No.
They're already there. It's, series regulars who finally kiss.
Right.
Best moment ever.
Oh, you're just
Everyone
like looking
rewinds
up like
that.
people kissing on TV?
Yeah, but I want to see it all at once, so I look up compilations.
Oh, no, I've been there. But like when I was younger as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
Yeah,
coming
when
off
you
as a
were
really
younger.
horny kid right now.
No, I was too.
Yeah,
everything's fine.
Yeah.
Being a teenager and having the internet, crazy combo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's normal.
Crazy combo.
Crazy.
It's normal to explore.
Did you guys? Okay, you guys might not know, but I had like the computer too. Like I had a desktop
Yeah.
as a kid.
Okay. How young were you when you had your own desktop? Because, see, this is where I'm very millennial, where I didn't have my own computer until I was like 15.
Same.
Sure.
Oh, even older for me.
Yeah.
I think
And I got it because I was in online school.
Oh.
So that's how I got it. I got a free computer because
I got one when I went to college,
yeah.
but there was one computer and it was the family computer.
yeah.
Exactly.
No,
That's what
we had the family computer. I don't really think I had my own desktop until I was also I had my laptop as well. Yeah, in high school and before that.
Whoa.
Yeah. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't have a laptop in high school.
I mean, I really was only using it like toward the end for like college applications and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Before that, it was like the family computer, and that's what I was like, playing Sims on, or like when I was like searching like kissing videos, I had like the blanket like over me, and, like,
Nice.
over the computer, so then the parents wouldn't like come and be like, she's a freak.
If I was a teenager now, having a computer is not as necessary because your phone does so much. Like
Right.
back when I was a
Right.
teenager, you could only like communicate with your friends on your computer.
Yeah,
So,
AIM.
So like you needed to get on the computer.
Did
to
you ever have
ability.
Did you ever have a ding on your favorite person? So whenever they got on AIM, you knew.
Oh, all the time.
No, if I
All the time.
don't know. I can't remember. I talked a lot on AIM.
Me too.
I was talking to people all the time.
Think about the parents who were like, "I have to get on there.
Right.
You
And
have to
they would
fight
never
over
would.
one computer."
I think for me it was mostly like Facebook Messenger. I had AIM when I was really younger, but then it like quickly shifted to Facebook
Oh yeah,
messages.
Facebook Messenger was great.
And then I deactivated my old Facebook because I was so embarrassed at all the shit I put on there, and I would do anything to get that content now.
I couldn't agree with you more. I
Yeah.
posted so many photos on my Facebook. I was like, what am I doing?
Right.
I'm literally like drinking a beer. Like I'm just like in Spain, or it's like me and my friend talking. It's the worst picture of us.
Right.
And I'm like posting. I'm like family, and I'm like, what did I do?
Oh yeah, and just
And now
like
it's
writing
gone.
a post for
No,
everything.
it's gone. I definitely,
it's out there. It's got those photos are. Still,
only I can see them though.
yeah, you can save them to your phone and stuff.
I can save them. But
I used Facebook so much and then stopped when it just kind of went to shit. Like,
Yeah, it got lame quick.
It's really weird.
It got boomer
It was
quick.
so weird because I was a teenager when it was like only for college kids. And then it like became for everyone, and then it became for old people, and
Yeah.
it was the trippiest shit ever.
That was a pretty distinct shift, which was crazy. I remember my friend and I, when I was in 6th or 7th grade, we did like a web show on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was called Live, Laugh, Love.
Oh.
And
oh no,
yeah.
Arasha.
Oh yeah, no. And it was spelled like LIV
Unironic.
LAFFLUV.
Holy shit! You somehow made it cringier.
No, we made it so much worse. We
How
were
can
like,
we make
this
this
is
worse?"
already so bad. Let's make it.
What did you
worse.
guys talk about?
Okay, so here's the funny part. It was when I had my my left ankle I fractured when I was a kid, so I was in this like neon green cast.
That's awesome.
So we were both like in my bedroom, and we were definitely inspired by iCarly, obviously.
Hey, you were on iCarly.
So this is kind of a dream come true to come on this pod.
Yeah. With the guy who had like 5 lines on an episode of iCarly.
We loved it, and we were like, we can do that. Let's start our own web show. So we would like go in there and we'd be like, random dancing, and we thought we were like so cool.
TikTok.
Literally, they're just like making our own content. But then after like 4 or 5 episodes, I was like, this is fucking stupid, and I deleted my Facebook.
Wow.
And all of that just like disappeared with it.
What about your friend? Did she have any say?
Yeah, I mean, she was also like, no, yeah, this is stupid. We were just messaging the other day, and she was like, you remember when we had our show? And I was like, I've been looking for the footage.
Wow. If we can find that footage.
If somebody knows how to
Someone can
get into
probably
an
find
old
it.
Facebook
You
account.
you should revive it. You should sell it to Netflix.
Live, laugh,
think
love.
we get picked up?
Guys, hear me out. Live, laugh, love coming to Netflix.
Listen, the way that it's spelled was quite original.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't think
isn't
anyone thought
Laugh
of
like
that.
a LA film festival?
Well, there you go. You got your in.
Whoa.
Arasha, this is your big break. You just didn't realize it.
Wait, you guys. I actually am going to go on a deep dive later and try to find it.
I think you should, because
it.
I'd love to see the first episode.
Okay,
The
and then
pilot.
I'll come back and then we'll watch it.
We'll
The
be
pilot.
the biggest fans.
Okay, all right, if you promise.
Well, not make promises, Shayne.
Do we want to hop into some Reddit?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's get weird on the internet.
Me on a
Get
first
weird.
date.
Oh,
You want to
God.
hop into some Reddit?
No, Shayne looked up advice. He's like, okay, best thing to
Why?
do.
What do
Look
I
up
do?
Reddit with your person.
Listen, we can find the how to kiss video. Like,
Yeah. Let's find it.
we can
Let's watch
find
that
it
in our cars
We
on
can
our
find
own
it and
time.
screen it. No, we have to do it together.
Okay.
Okay, so admittedly, I was searching through a bunch of Reddit stuff yesterday. There's a couple weird subreddits, but a lot of these are kind of normal ones that I just wanted to share with you guys.
Yeah.
These are ones that end up on my feed a lot. This first one is very popular. It's Ask Reddit, and it's
Okay.
just where people ask general questions to Reddit. A lot of times they're kind of the same questions over and over again. A lot of like very cynical stuff of just like, what do people think about the future? Like, how are people getting by nowadays? You know, it's always sad. It's like, yeah, it's bad. But then really specific questions get asked, and then really specific answers are given, and that's always awesome. This first one I found: people who went to a wedding where the couple didn't last long, what happened?
Ooh.
And it's like, great question.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
And
juicy.
someone responded, witnessed by my parents, not me. During the wedding reception, someone asked the bride and groom when they were going to have kids. They had been dating for 8 years before getting married, so everyone assumed they were going to have kids immediately after getting married. The groom loudly said, "Oh man, I'm never having kids." The bride burst into tears and had to go to the restroom. They lasted about a year. You'd think that's something they would have talked about during that long time, but who knows? Whew.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Oh my
Dude.
god.
Whoa.
You know what it makes me think about, just like grooms being like that, is, have you ever seen videos where the groom's vows are just the most broy?
They're like,
shit
you're hot,
ever?
Yeah.
and I knew you'd always
I
be
vow
hot.
to smack your butt every day,
Yeah.
babe.
Okay, I've also seen
Like, I'm not kidding. I've seen that type of shit.
it's also funny
So
to me
bad.
though to like flip it, because you also hear like the basic like female vows too that are like,
course.
you love me when I'm hangry.
Yeah. yeah.
when I haven't had my glass of wine
Yeah.
or my cup of coffee.
Sorry
in the
for what I
morning.
said when I was hungry.
Yeah. In Puerto Rico, you took me back to our hotel. And everyone in the wedding's like, oh.
I know. And the girls are like, and they're constantly fixing her dress, and she's like, thank you.
Yeah,
And now
I
it's-
swear I wouldn't
and-
cry.
And now it's time for the groom's vow. It's like, babe, you're fucking hot, dude.
Yeah, nice rock.
I vow to appreciate your fucking rack every day.
And all the
babe.
guys are like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
girls are like, ew.
And then they're like, moving on to the rings.
Another one answered, they were both 35, successful lawyer and doctor, but had never spent the night at each other's house. After the marriage, they couldn't agree who would move in with who and filed for divorce after 3 months. No one knows why they even got married at all. I guess they felt like they were supposed to at that age.
Who would move in
They're
with
lawyers.
whom?
Why would
A
they
lawyer and a
even go through
doctor,
that?
and they, yeah.
Whoa.
It sounds like these are just all like examples of couples that don't actually talk about the big
They
stuff.
don't work shit out.
Yeah.
Or they're just like, we'll work it out, like we'll figure it out, and then eventually it's something that's like so big of like a deal breaker.
I think that's an example of people getting married because they think that's kind of what they
Yes.
should do,
Yes.
as opposed to like they're like, oh, we actually want this. We as individuals by ourselves want this, as opposed to we should. Getting married is what you do after dating for 8 years.
I feel like they think it's gonna solve something like, all right, once we get married, like everything is gonna fit into place.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Whenever I hear people talk about like, they like had a kid to try to solve their problems, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like adding responsibility when you're having problems sounds opposite of what I would ever think you would do. But I guess people do it a lot.
They do.
8 years is so bananas to me too, because I feel like even in like short-term relationships, people are already thinking about the future.
Totally.
And you're just like asking your partner these questions of like, where do you see ourselves in 5 years? And like, what would you like for your career? Where would you like to see your life and things like that? And to just not have that discussion in 8 years feels so strange.
A lot of people don't.
A lot of people are just
They
really
just don't have the conversation.
it's all down to bad communication.
Right.
And we see it on Reddit stories all the time. Like every relationship, it's just always that they don't talk.
Yeah.
That's always the problem. But I think for people who get so used to not talking that becomes their normal, and they think that's fine.
Right.
They're like, yeah, we're good. Because I almost wonder if you start to fill in the gaps when you're not talking. Like if she was like, oh yeah, he probably wants kids.
Yeah.
Because they're not talking about
Or
it.
maybe they talked about it and he like had he was like, no, had a big explosion and she
Yeah.
He'll change his mind.
But and the idea
Right.
of people changing on stuff like that is always crazy to me.
It's
too.
scary.
I'm like, dude.
Okay, actually, I have an interesting question for you guys too, though. Like, do you think if you were like, let's say like meeting somebody on like a dating app or just like for the first time, and they had the opposite belief about kids that you do, whether you are like, I definitely want kids or I don't want kids, and they said the opposite right away, are you going to discount them right away? Are you going to be like, this is probably not going to work? Or are you like, let's see where this goes and like let that kind of simmer for a second?
I think that goes into a lot of just thoughts I have on dating in general, which is it's hard for me to gauge now because it's been a long time since I was dating, but when those first couple months of dating, I was never trying to put that amount of pressure on it. I'm like, I'm meeting someone and we're just going to have fun because it might be a cool connection that even if we decide it's not romantic, it's like, it's still a cool connection.
Yeah.
Like, I like this person. We might be friends. We might just being like, it's nice to know you. Like, to just first date be like, oh, I have a disagreement on something. We're done here is kind of like, I think that's putting way too much pressure on dating in general, and you're going to have a hard time when it's like you're just purely looking for that marriage material first date. But that's me. Some people, I wouldn't judge someone. I wouldn't judge someone if I went on a first date and I was like, oh yeah, I want kids, or oh, I don't want kids, and they're like, well, I feel the opposite, so I don't know if I see this. I'd be like, all right,
Same.
cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't discount them at all. I mean, that probably wouldn't come up in the first like few months. But if it did, I wouldn't discount them at all because everyone can change your mind sometimes. But also, like Shayne was saying, like you want to know them as a person. But if they were like, peace, goodbye, this is what I want, I'd be like, go get it.
Right.
I honestly think the first 3 like or so months of dating, you really are like whatever you're doing, fine, but you are like friends. And it's important to be like, can we be friends first before you're like, and now we're considering each other as serious romantic partners? Because it's like if you have that without any form of like friendship or just like we can hang on a chill, low key level. If you can't do that, then you can't move on to the next serious levels. But some people go straight to serious.
It's so funny because like I feel like the first 3 months is like crazy town. Like it's like heart burst, like and like I think when I met my husband, I didn't immediately see him as a friend. I was like saw him very much as a romantic interest.
Oh, yeah.
But like it grew to that pretty quickly. But like I felt like felt like a crazy person. I was
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's
tricky.
tough.
I think everyone's
Different.
it differently.
Everyone's so different.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to. I think friendship is so important, whether you find it in the beginning or not. But like, I remember my like first 3 months. I was like, I'm gonna explode. Like I'm gonna die.
Aw.
I mean, I think there's the point that I feel like I'm trying to make is kind of like, you know, the opposite can be said, that like in a way it's kind of like, why bother? Like if you know that there's something so important to you that you're just like, no, I definitely want kids, and like you see somebody, like for instance on like an app, you know, if you definitely want kids and you see someone, like that kind of stuff is already sometimes presented to you on their profile. So you'll see like don't want children, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll see my friends just be like, oh, well, you know, they don't want kids, and swipe is it left? Whatever the wrong
right?
one
Yeah, you
is.
swipe left.
God.
You swipe left.
Swipe left, yeah. So so they'll just be like, oh, they don't want kids, and swipe left. And I feel like initially I'm like, whoa, like why are you thinking about kids right now? Like you're just talking about a first date. But then you also think about it and it's like, well, why go on this date with somebody and carry on when you know that this is something that you're going to disagree with and you're going to have to deal with it later?
Yeah, that's fair. I guess it really depends on the person and how, like, if what you're really looking for is a serious commitment and that long-term relationship, then yeah, you are acknowledging like this is, you know, it's not going to go that far.
Yeah.
Maybe
You know
put
that.
on your dating profile because it's a little like
You
But
think?
I guess
you
if
don't know the person.
I'm also just jaded when it comes to dating apps, that I'm like, you're putting that on your dating app because you're hoping to find the one on Tinder, and I'm just like, but that's where I'm biased because I'm just like, I just don't really believe in them. I know that some people
everyone's
do.
different.
Some people do find their partners on them. I think the success rates are super fucking low.
Totally.
But
I think it's a chance thing. Like you can put yourself out there and hopefully try to meet the right person. But I've always said it, like my issue with the apps is I just think that romantic connections are so heavily based on physical pheromones that you share with people.
body language,
chemistry, how you feel when you're just
also-
in the same presence.
I
of
deleted
them.
them. I deleted them because I didn't like what they were doing to my brain.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't like how it's making me view people. I was like, this is weird. I was
Purely
like,
looks.
it's and just categorizing in a weird way. And I'm like, people are so much more complicated and there's so much more depth. And I think I felt sad because I definitely swiped left on women that I was like, if I met them in person in the right context, I probably would have felt different, and that made me sad. And I was just like, but I also understood that I was like, it's hard to meet people. It's really fucking hard.
It is.
And it's kind of our only option because there's no third places where people go and like are out and about. Anyways.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Wow.
wanna
Ask
move on?
Reddit. Dang.
Yeah. Do you want to move on? There's a couple other questions on here.
Okay.
What is the worst secondhand embarrassment you've ever felt?
Oh.
This first one's insane.
Oh.
This is a character that I think you would play, Amanda. We were at an all-inclusive resort in Jamaica. Every night, they had this common area where folks could do karaoke. A middle-aged gentleman got up and started the first few lines of Lionel Richie's Easy. Some random lady from the audience ran up and attempted to sing the song with the gentleman. He kindly pushed her away 2 or 3 times as she tried to sing over his shoulder into the microphone. Finally, she just stood there dejected, swaying from side to side like an idiot as the man broke from his song and professed his love for his girlfriend and wrapped up with a marriage proposal. They hugged, they kissed, the idiot girl went back to her seat. I will never understand why that guy chose that song to use to propose. However, he was killing the vocals.
Whoa.
Dude, can you imagine being like, I'm gonna go do a duet with this guy, and it's just like, oh, and then it's like it's a marriage proposal, and you're just up there like, ooh.
Oh, no.
Not only did you fail, and it was already awkward, it gets doubly awkward.
I want to be this woman so bad because I have seen this woman a million times,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
like resort, like touristy vacation spots where they're like, yeah, they go up and the guy's like, he has a whole plan to propose. Also, karaoke proposal. Listen, I love karaoke.
No.
I love
I
it.
know, it's like, okay.
Easy
No.
like Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not the vibe. That's literally where I just was in inside of this story. And there was in Costa Rica, there was a karaoke night, and Fabian and I went up and we were singing a song, and the crowd was simply dead. Like, actually, like, it wasn't
No, they
karaoke
actually,
with
turns
your
out
friend.
they had
all
died.
were
There was a carbon
deceased.
monoxide thing. It was really
It
bad.
was a Costa Rica problem. But everybody was just in their seat watching. It wasn't like a karaoke where, like, you know, all your friends are cheering you on and you're like the life of the party. It's not the time for a marriage proposal.
No, and
Not at
also
all.
this woman, I love that. I think in her head she was like, I want to be up here.
Yeah.
So I'm not going anywhere.
She said, "This is my moment."
And she just sways.
To not get off stage once you've been pushed away, to just stay up there.
Right. And I can
Bravo.
see it.
Is there
I
an
can see
update?
him.
No. The other one, I picture Spencer as this guy. Had a guy walk into class in college late. It was auditorium seating, and the only open spaces were on the 4th row in the middle. About 25 rows in total and about 50 seats per row. This guy walks in and sits down 15 minutes into lecture and opens his laptop, which as soon as the lights boot up, starts blaring porn. And at the build-up to the big finale to boot, he couldn't log in fast enough or mute it since he wasn't logged in. So he slammed it shut, put it in his bag, and walked out with it still blaring at full volume. We heard it finally stop as he was about to leave the building.
Oh
Bro.
my.
He didn't have the blanket. He
God.
needed that
You
over
need the blanket
laptop.
on.
This is Spencer to you?
I just imagine. I'm
can
laughing at
hear
Spencer.
this.
I imagine Spencer opening up just porn, and he's just like trying to. He just shuts it. Porn's still going, and he just walks out casually.
He doesn't freak out. He's just like, all right.
At that point, I
I
think
think
at that
he's freaking out so intensely that
Internally.
he's just like,
I think at that point you have to commit. You're just it's porn, and you're just got to be like,
yeah, you gotta go.
what's that?
You gotta go. Sorry.
Sorry, it's my porn.
Sorry, I'm learning how to kiss.
Sorry, I'm learning how to. I was learning how to kiss. It's not a big deal.
God, it's so awkward that
That's
he slammed
so
it shut
bad.
And it didn't
walked
stop.
out.
Okay, actually, though, I have a crazy story. This happened maybe a couple months ago. I was at AMC. I think I was watching one of the it was a horror movie, and I was with a couple of my friends. We were in we were like probably the 4th row, and in the 3rd row we see this guy who was on his phone. The movie hadn't started yet, but on his phone he's like editing porn.
That's awesome.
Editing porn?
Editing porn.
Was he in the video? It's
There
just him
weren't
and his
any
wife?
faces.
What do you mean? Oh, got it. It was close up.
It was It was a close up.
It was the end
So
of the video.
it was the rear for sure.
The rear.
It was the rear.
Oh, it was really the end. It was the last straw.
So he's
He looks over. He's like, "That's my butthole." Sorry, I'm editing.
well,
this.
he's editing it, and all of us are like, "Oh my god!" And so we're just kind of like, "All right, he's doing his thing, whatever." And then the movie starts playing, and he's still on his phone, and we are just like very obviously seeing this on his screen. And then eventually he like puts it down, and then in the middle of the movie, all of a sudden it just goes off, and it's just like blaring.
Oh, full on playing.
Wait, really?
Full on moaning. And he's like, he like takes his phone out and he's like trying to like shut it off. And it takes at least like 4 or 5 minutes until he actually like
4 to
quiets it
5
down.
minutes?
And we are all like
That's a
scarred.
plot point.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Whoa.
Isn't that wild? It was so distracting, but it was just like,
What a great Saturday for him. I mean, he's just doing his work, his creative work, and then he gets to watch a scary movie.
If it was a really scary movie, I'd maybe be grateful because that would relieve the tension. I'd be
Right.
like, okay, I'm not scared right now because there's porn blaring.
Oh, we were
Can
very
I be?
scared.
I don't know. I hate movies. I love movies. I hate phones in movie
Oh,
theaters.
yeah.
So would it be crazy if you were like, "Excuse me, sir, can you put your phone away because the movie's about to start"?
we wanted to say something. Well, here's the thing, like when he was on his phone during the trailers and we clocked it, we were like, maybe we should tell someone. And then we were like, it's
Tell
fine. He'll probably. Well, yeah, I'm not going to do it.
I'm not the
going.
type. I'm not the type to go to and complain in a movie. Mainly because I'm like, I don't want to miss part of the movie for
Yeah.
this. Like,
Oh, that's
I'm not
fair.
doing this.
That's
like,
fair.
I'm sticking.
So you
through
don't
this.
go pee like during a movie.
I try not to.
Same.
I will hold it.
Same.
I'll go if
I'll
the
be in
movie's
pain.
boring.
If it's really boring, then sure.
Yeah.
But no, if
No.
Or like you ever have like a really intense scene and then it cuts to something else and you're like, this is giving exposition.
Yeah, that's the
time.
smart moment to do it, but I try not to.
Yeah.
But it's always difficult.
Wow.
Yeah. But then you're like pining for the end of the movie, and that's never what you want to do, you know?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
just pee.
Just pee.
Just pee.
Just pee.
The last Ask Reddit one I had, it was Americans of Reddit. What places in America should foreigners avoid at all cost? And the answers kind of surprised me because they were all very similar and they were all about national parks. And it wasn't necessarily avoid. It was just if you go to a national park and you disregard the signs, you're going to die. It's not a joke. Treat buffalo like field puppies, you're going to die. Try to pet the brown bear, you're going to die. See that moose and want to feed it, you're probably already dead. Oh, look, a rattlesnake, dead. Want to swim in Old Faithful, you're going to die painfully and completely dissolve into a soup. Shit is dangerous here, and if you don't respect it, you'll likely die quick. And then the other one was don't hike into the wilderness of Colorado, especially 14ers, without knowing wilderness survival and responsibilities. Tourists die in our mountains and Rocky Mountain National Park all the time. Do your research. Altitude is no joke. That one I can attest to because my brother and I got lost coming down from a 14er once. And we, it was very stupid. Don't ever go off trail is a lesson I already knew. But then my brother and I were hiking down the mountain. We took a wrong turn. Have I told you this story?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We were hiking down. We got up. We were out camping in the middle of Colorado, and we hiked the second highest peak, this big-ass mountain. We woke up at like 6, went up and hiked it. On our way back down, it's like noon. We've already been hiking for hours then. My oldest brother goes ahead of us to go back and start making breakfast, and we're hiking down. And my other brother and I, we take a wrong turn, and we hike for like 45 minutes the wrong way. And then we're like, oh, shoot, we hiked 45 minutes the wrong way. Then we kind of look down, and we're like, I'm pretty certain camp is down this way, like off the trail.
Uh-oh.
And so we're like, if we go down that way, I'm sure we're going to hit camp. And we hike down for like half an hour, and we're just like, oh, we're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, my God.
And then and then it's like, okay, now I don't know how to get back to trail. And it's amazing how big shit is and how off trail, how hard it is to move through the forest. We were hiking for about an hour before we found a trail. And then we're like, sweet, we found a trail. We can follow this. And then that trail slowly gets overgrown. We realize it's an abandoned trail. And we're like, all right, we have to go off again. And what we did is we found like a small stream. And we're like, let's follow this because it'll eventually lead to down the mountain. We follow that. We eventually, after like an hour and a half, this is like a total of maybe 2 hours of hiking just off trail, just through the mountains. We eventually get out into the clearing, so we're safe. Like we can see a town way off in the distance, but we're on the opposite side of the mountain as our camp, and so it took us like another 6 or 7 hours to get all the way back to.
Whoa!
Oh my God!
We hiked a marathon that day.
Wait, your brother was just still cooking breakfast?
Yeah, we got back because we were able to. Once we got out into the
want
clearing,
bacon?
Once we got out in the clearing, we were able to like call. I was able to call my sister-in-law, and she talked to my brother, and we're like, they're safe. They're just gonna take a while to get back.
That's actually my worst.
And it
nightmare.
sucked. It sucked so much, and it gave me a lot of perspective. For one, to never ever go off trail, no matter, even if you're like, oh, I'll just go off a little bit, like don't.
No.
I was so immediately not scared of animals or bears or wolves or anything like that. I was like, I'm so scared of like tripping on a rock. Like that's what's going to kill you.
Yep.
It's the mundane shit that'll kill you in nature. It was awful. So they're correct. National parks are no joke.
Also, Colorado altitude is.
Yes.
When I hiked, I hiked in Boulder, and I was like,
someone also
couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
There was also an answer saying Death Valley, like that foreigners underestimate Death Valley, and they'll go hiking in Death Valley and they'll die because it's hot as sin. So
It's like also Kauai too.
just nature, American nature is a lot more deadly than people realize.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
But
I'm
I was
glad-
expecting the answers to be like, oh, downtown LA at night.
No, I was
Don't-
about
I
to
was like,
say.
yeah, well, that, but it was all wilderness related. Yeah.
It's just like really about survival.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. But
Okay.
I don't know, because
No, that's good.
someone did have an answer of like, it's less about areas in America and it's more about like context and how you act in
Yeah.
certain contexts. I'm like, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely there's parts of every city where it's like, don't go being an asshole around there.
Sure.
This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. So I got Rocket Money and realized I was spending so much money on subscriptions that I wasn't even using.
Yeah, it sucks. It's what happened with me too. But I really love it at this point because now that I've used it for a while, I've canceled those subscriptions, I've got it all organized, but now I just like to keep track of things. It's just great for budgeting.
Yeah.
I've never in my life been very good at like keeping tabs on it, but now every month I look at it, I'm like, okay, I'm in line with what I want to do.
That's amazing.
I'm saving. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. That's what it's doing for me.
It's amazing. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/smoshmouth. That's rocketmoney.com/smoshmouth. rocketmoney.com/smoshmouth.
Back to the show. Moving on, there's a ton of like ask types of things on Reddit, right? So there's
Fun.
Ask Reddit, that's the big main one, but there's all sorts of them. There's like Ask Science, Ask Historians, Ask whatever. There's Ask Men, and there's also Ask Women.
Oh,
I
boy.
found one good one on Ask Men. And
Just
it's
one.
Just one. A lot of them are just kind of the same as Ask Reddit. It's just like geared toward.
What do you do when she stops talking? What do you do when she slams the door on
talking? No, this one's great because I relate to it. What obvious hints have you missed from a woman?
Oh, okay. hold
And all
on.
the answers
Hold
are
on.
great, but I found two of my favorites.
This is juicy.
When I was in high school, this girl came over to smoke weed, and after she said something to the effect of, "I've always wanted to try having sex while high," I just replied, "Yeah, me too." And that was the end of the conversation.
Okay, that
Not a hint. Not a hint.
not a hint. That's
That's her
literally
straight up telling you.
I gotta be honest. I'm like, me at 18 would have probably done that because I would have been like, yeah, me too for sure. I just would not think that it's about me.
Whoa! You're literally together smoking weed. Oh my God.
I don't know.
I know people like that.
Yeah, no,
We're
it's men.
Wouldn't it be cool to like kiss?
Not anymore.
Would it be-
I'm married now.
Sure. Well, wouldn't it be cool to like kiss under the starlight? They're like, yeah, it'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
Good night.
That would be cool. And then they go to their friends and they're like, she's not into me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I think I've been in similar situations. There was another one. In a college, a girl and I worked together for about a year, usually late nights in a campus food court that wasn't that busy. Over time, we became better friends. Eventually, we both ended up breaking up with our respective significant others around the same time. So naturally, we bonded over that and how both relationships were dead for a while. Anyway, a week later, I say like one sentence complaining about my dorm's laundry being in the basement and not working well. She mentions I should come do laundry at her house instead, and that her mom is gone for the weekend, so wouldn't mind. I kind of brush it off, but she keeps bringing it up and saying there's a movie on Netflix she'd like to see that weekend too. 19-year-old me is thinking, why the hell would driving my laundry to your house be less annoying than taking it to my building's basement? So I just keep changing the subject. Took me like 6 years to realize that one.
6 years?
Like 6 years later, he was like, "Oh,
What's the update?
Yeah, no. The update is that
Here's
he
the frustrating part though. It's like it feels like in so many instances it's like she's like trying to like give him obviously the hint and being like, you know, come over, my mom isn't home, it's more convenient, like whatever, and he's responding in a way that's informing her that he's not into her.
That's
When instead he's just unaware.
He's
just
not.
really unaware.
That's why I'm like, I'm so done with like pussyfooting around. Shall I say that?
You shall.
Just be direct.
Yeah.
I think as a teenager, I started being very direct. I was like, do you want to go make out in the basement right now? And they're like, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And did you?
You're crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
But I started just being direct because some dudes.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me, and I would still be this way, but I was so afraid of ever making anyone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Terrified of I was so much more scared of being wrong and them not being into me that I would just rather like I acted like I wasn't doing that.
That makes
Right.
sense.
But then you don't ever get those. Nobody ever was forward with me. Nobody ever said anything. So I'm like, maybe. And I mean, even in hindsight, I'm like, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
It's like somebody has to budge on the side of both people being like, maybe.
Maybe they viewed me just as a friend, and they just wanted to hang out, watch a movie as a friend.
no.
I mean, I don't know.
Not
like,
where their mom is out.
No,
No,
and it's
these are
rarely,
extreme.
It's
No,
rarely ever just for friendship.
I've always wanted to try having sex while high one is like ridiculous.
It is I think it is a bummer. I will say that lately men, or maybe always, a lot of men feel so afraid that they're going to do the wrong thing.
Right.
That they kind of like pause themselves. And there's a reason why, yes, but also it's a little sad to me.
Well, it's sad that so many men ruined it by being
Exactly.
awful.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
and so we're in this awkward place. I mean,
Yeah. I can imagine that it's like for probably like how you were thinking and how a lot of guys are thinking. It's kind of like, I'd rather be stupid and miss the hint than
Exactly.
overstep and then be embarrassed.
it's not something.
true.
It's not something I regret, and it's not even embarrassed. It's I really am terrified of like making someone uncomfortable,
Right.
Or, like making them have a bad time,
Yeah.
or whatever. And there's also just for every story like this, there's probably far more men who take something that's not a hint,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, she's into me,
yeah.
and it's just like
Those are the ones that f it up for everyone else.
exactly.
That's
What it boils down to.
I feel like there's also just such a wholesome way to look at that too. Like I feel like I was doing that in my adult life a little bit too. Like even on my most recent first date, I feel like I was like, is it a date?
I know.
Or are we just like hanging out as friends? And you just like never really know until you're there. And then again, it's like the obvious things are happening where you're like, okay, I feel like that's like pretty
Yeah.
date-y. And then it doesn't really become clear until there's like a kiss or something
Yeah.
physical.
Have you ever been on a date with a guy, but you thought it was a friend date?
Yes.
Okay.
See, that's the big fear.
That's always tough.
But I wasn't offended by them or mad at them. I was like,
Right.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I missed.
Yeah.
The hints.
Well, I think it's because sometimes it can be misunderstood like our friendliness, right? Of like
Yeah.
you ever like meet some like another guy who's
Every
you're genuinely
day.
just like a friend to, and you're like, we should hang out. Like we
Right.
should like go see a movie or
Every
something.
day
And
of my
they
life.
are like, okay, dude.
They're like,
she's into
aren't you
me."
married? And I'm like, I'm locked in a cage
Yeah.
and I can't see other men.
Exactly,
It-
your
it-
property.
I think also what makes it tough for me too is I had tons of friends who were women. So I was also like used to just hanging out with
Yes.
women and it being a friend thing. So
Yeah.
like I think that made it
That's tricky.
tough because I'm like, these are things that I normally
Do with a friend.
with women all the time. So
Right,
it's not
yeah.
like I'm viewing that always as a romantic thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely nice being married where I get to now like things are just so much simpler. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can. It's not. I'm
You're
not
like,
looking for
"Do you
that.
still
Yeah,
like
yeah,
me?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I still ask Courtney that
Yeah.
sometimes.
Do you still like
like
me, or
me?
do you see me as your coworker?
So what are we? Our next Reddit is a weird one. It's a very fun, wholesome, weird Reddit.
Weird ones.
It's called Squirrels Eating Unusual Things. People take photos of squirrels eating unusual
I was gonna say I
things.
need photos.
So we've got found this little dude eating a burger next to
Whoa!
They drive an ambulance and there's a squirrel eating like a burger. It's got both buns, the patty in the middle, like it's eating a burger like a person.
That's awesome.
The next one is found a squirrel eating a croissant sandwich. Look at that. It's got a whole croissant
And he's
sandwich.
like falling down a tree.
he is chilling, eating that croissant sandwich.
How is
I
he
love a
hanging
croissant
on?
sandwich.
Well, he's a squirrel. That's what they're
Well,
evolved.
you see.
Over millions
I
of
guess
years,
I
they've evolved
missed
to
the
eat
hints.
croissant sandwiches while dangling from a tree.
Yeah.
That's peak. That's
resort
evolution.
life. That's
yeah.
that woman on a resort when she's not bugging the karaoke guy. She's fucking doing that.
I want us to develop where squirrels actually only have croissant sandwiches as their diet.
Yeah.
Too powerful.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, a very popular subreddit is mildly infuriating.
Ooh.
And there's just people posting. It's a lot of times it's images. For the most part, it's images of just things that happened that are infuriating. It might be that they spilled paint all over their garage or whatever. It's like it's an inconvenience. It's not like this is the worst thing.
Yeah.
First one though is a text message this kind of relates to our other stuff, sort of. POV, you were happily married and message your friend who recently got a girlfriend. So I'm assuming this is a woman, and they're texting their friend, and they go, "Hey, bro, how have you been? It's been a while." And this guy responds, "Hey, just can't talk to you anymore. I just want to fully respect what my girl wants because I broke her trust by talking to you behind her back when I told her I wasn't going to talk to you even when nothing was going on. I don't want her feeling any other type of way or her trust because I truly care about her. You may not take any of this serious, but me and my girl are at the next level of our relationship of seriousness. I care about her and I love her. I'm sure you'd do the same thing if your partner told you not to talk to this person or that. I hope things go well with a husband and whatever. Peace."
I wouldn't say that's mildly infuriating. I would say that drives me insane.
Yeah. Me
That
and my
makes
girl.
me so mad.
That's such a huge red flag if your partner immediately is telling you not to talk.
I can't
That's-
text you.
That I think is the ultimate red flag if they're trying to cut off your network.
Well,
It is.
okay, actually, I'm kind of confused for a second because
There's not much context given in this. It's just a
Okay,
text message.
okay.
So they're
What's the update?
what kind of confused me though was just like him saying she's not okay with it after I lied about talking to you
behind her back.
Behind
when
her
I told
back.
I wasn't going to talk to
So I'm not sure
you.
what
Even when
came
nothing
first.
was going on.
Yeah.
It's all weird, but this person saying they're happily married. And so
Right.
they're messing.
But if-
and
but
even
if
at the end,
he
he goes, "Hope
lied-
things go well with husband." But it's like, did the girl just tell him not to talk to anyone, and then he did, and
Or
then
maybe
Yeah.
he's close with this woman and they text all the time and then he lied about it and the girl was like, "Why did you lie to me?"
Exactly.
And lying about it makes it seem sketchy.
And that's why she's
That's-
like, please don't talk to her anymore.
either way, shitty.
either way, I don't think you can really tell your partner not to do something when you don't really know.
It,
No.
definitely depends. Look, if this person had an affair with that person, or even if it was an ex, I'd be like, I get it a little bit more, but like they're married. He even ends that text with like, "Good luck with your husband" and stuff. It's like,
Good luck with your husband. Don't you know his name? Aren't we friends?
I also think for his partner, if like you're at that point where you have no trust for your partner, you're not. It's not
No,
gonna work.
sayonara.
Yeah.
The other one I found, this is a great image. Chase attempted to withdraw $99 billion from my checking account. It's still on hold. Look at that. That's fucking awesome.
Whoa. What?
No.
Whoa.
No.
Wait,
Yeah.
why?
It's just probably an accident.
That would send me into cardiac arrest.
Oh, if you saw that you owed $99.9 billion.
I am constantly in fear that like somebody is gonna come to my door and be like, you owe money. Like you owe money.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Are you not paying your taxes,
I,
Arasha?
I think so, but like, don't
What do you mean you think so?
I think I'm doing it right, but don't you guys also think like?
Oh, I'm
like,
terrified
what
of
if I'm
paperwork. I'm terrified of the government.
What if I'm reporting something wrong? What if I did something wrong
is-
and
Well,
they're
it's
like,
it's because
that's
it's a trap.
illegal.
It's because the government is like the mafia in a lot
Right.
of ways.
Right.
No, they are trying to get you.
This is what I'm saying. Big scary men could show up at your door at any
Yeah.
point and say $99
Or
billion
women.
dollars. Well, I wouldn't be as scared of the women.
Wow. No. We can't do this. Not here.
Big
Not on
scary
this
men at my
pod.
door are scaring me more than big scary women.
What? Big scary woman would make me shit my pants.
No, I would feel a little
When-
nurtured by the big scary women.
Nurtured?
When,
no.
when Helga shows up with her ponytails, 7'5" Helga.
I'm gonna jump into
A
her
German-
arms and she'll carry me to the government.
Oh, God. You are what's
She
wrong
shows up.
with
She's like, "I
America.
heard what you said."
We're gonna
said.
we're gonna do an experiment on this. We're gonna hire 2 big scary men, we're gonna hire 2 big scary women, and we're gonna attack somebody in the cast.
What
And
the
we're gonna see
No.
who they're more scared of.
This plot is crazy. You're going to attack someone in the cast.
Leave in the comments below who should
we're
be
gonna
attacked.
we're gonna traumatize 2 of our friends. We're gonna ask who was more traumatized.
who is more traumatized, and then we'll psychologically help them afterward.
How? I don't have that kind of equipment.
By getting 2 giant nice guys and 2 giant nice women.
Are you
I see
okay?
which comforts them more.
Helga?
They just pat him on the back and they're like, sorry about
Sorry
that.
about-
Listen, I
this.
have my answer. We're just testing.
I'm not scared of big, scary people. I'm scared of, honestly, if it's anyone who's just from the government showing up.
Fair.
They could be the smallest, sweetest looking person, but if they're like, "Hey, I'm from the IRS,"
If-
I'd be like, "You're gonna
Yes.
kill me."
Yeah.
You're gonna, no, actually, you're not gonna kill me. You're gonna ruin my life.
Yeah.
Yes, worse.
Slowly.
And then I'm gonna want to kill me.
Like that's what I'm scared of.
Yeah.
I'm scared of the letter. That's what I'm scared. That's
Start
worse
on
than
written mail.
that's somehow so much worse for me.
No, I hate checking the mail.
It's a different kind of fear
know, I
because
kinda
it's
hate
like monetary fear. It's like, I'm going to owe the government for the rest of my
I
life.
was with people last weekend who were like, "Oh, like I don't check the mail. Like it's been like a year." since I
Crazy.
checked the mail."
That's the post office man, whatever the his name is.
I'm gonna
He'll kill
reroute
you.
them.
He will
I'm gonna
kill you.
reroute them to you, bitch.
He will
I'm
kill
gonna say,
you.
go find her. She has jury duty.
Okay, moving on. There is a subreddit for Tinder, and it's a popular one.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
And it's,
Rinder.
a lot of times they just are posting photos of like interactions, just like silly things that were said or ridiculous things that were said
Yeah.
by people.
Oh, okay.
First one, the caption of it is, I guess ice cream dates are considered a terrible idea nowadays. I thought this was interesting because,
My first date was an ice cream date.
well, here you go.
Wait, okay. My first date was with somebody who I worked with at an ice cream shop.
That's so fun.
Sisters.
There you go. I've had ice cream before.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Great.
Shayne.
So this person writes in, this guy, he matched with this woman. He goes, "Hey, this is Vance." Smiley face. She responds, "Hi," smiling emoji. "Hope you're having a good day. I'm excited for tomorrow. I can pick you up, but if you're not comfortable with that, we can just meet there. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like getting some ice cream in this hot weather." Then like an emoji, LOL. She responds to being asked on an ice cream date. "Sorry, this may come off as rude, but I don't do ice cream dates. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and a date like that seems like the absolute bare minimum for me. Meeting up would be a waste of both of our time since we probably don't have the same vibe. Best wishes." He responds, "Cool," with the sunglasses emoji.
What?
Okay, she's in the wrong.
She's of course in the wrong.
Okay, well, I turned around and you were like mad at his text.
He sounded a little lame to me. I'm so sorry.
It is so
He sounded
hard.
a little
How
lame.
do you sound
He's
normal
like,
on a dating app?
It's some hot weather we're having, kiddo. So let's pop in for some ice cream.
You're
shall we?
making him lame.
Well,
You're making him
make root beer floats the old-fashioned
Yeah.
way over at the general store.
We can do a little whoopee in my mom's house.
No. You're reading it wrong.
Have you ever had sex high?
She's like, that's what I said.
You just got to give him the cool tone. He's like, "Hey, it's kind of hot out there." I was, I don't know why.
You can't do that through text.
Yeah, is it
That's
sad
what,
that
that's what I was reading.
I gave him the lame tone. Listen, I think it's just like, hey, I'll pick you up, whatever. And then you just go to ice cream. Just surprise her. He laid out all the plans.
Surprise her.
Sex is gonna be boring.
I disagree because on a dating app, you literally don't know this person. I don't think you should get a ride from someone you meet on a dating
but I
app.
thought he was nice to be like, if you're not comfortable.
Yeah,
with
no,
it, just
I thought his was fine.
Oh my
his
God.
was
no
fine.
sex appeal, whatever. If you're not comfortable, well, I'll wear a mask.
There's no sex appeal through texting when you haven't met the person in real life.
I disagree.
Okay, then
Good thing I'm not on dating apps.
Yeah, and you can't have fucking ice
I'm
cream
just
anymore.
like,
But I thought this was funny. I thought this was funny because you were relatively around 26 when you went on your ice cream date with your husband.
Yeah. It was Easter. I know that sounds weird, but I had work, so I was in like my waitress outfit, and I walked down the street to get ice cream. We met up for ice cream, and he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey." He was like, "I love ice cream," and I was like, "I don't really love ice cream, but go for it."
What flavor did he get?
Oh,
A
something
fucking
like
lame one.
crazy chocolate. No, my husband, his nickname is Dairy Queen. He fucking loves dairy.
That's
He's Russian. I mean, he's obsessed with cream and
Yeah.
milk.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, he's obsessed with dairy and cookies.
Well, yeah.
So, anyways,
Awesome.
he got like a triple like dark chocolate thing, and he had
That's
like this
awesome.
long hair, no beard, and he dripped so much ice cream all over him. And I was like, "Damn, dude, you love ice cream." He's like, "I love ice cream."
And you
love
were
ice
for
cream.
it.
I was down because he was so clearly himself. He wasn't trying to be like,
Oh, yeah.
"Hey, are you okay?" No, he was like, "You look beautiful."
Okay, that's
I love
Ice cream dripping from his mouth.
I love.
You look beautiful.
And I was like, you know what? I'm so over these fucking dudes who are like, "Hey, is everything okay?" And then they were just not who they said they were. And he was like,
Right.
"I love
You trusted him because you're just like, this is genuine. You're not
I
lying
was like,
to me.
oh yeah, he spilled all over his black shirt.
Here's the thing. I think this guy is unapologetically himself because his answer of cool with the cool emoji.
Oh yeah, he
is
handled that
also
in
kind of
stride.
lame.
Well,
So, like,
she
that's
sucks.
who he is.
She sucks. No. Listen, guys. He sucks. She sucks. He's just boring as.
He only
prefer a guy and got more
I gotta be honest. That's probably how I came off on Tinder and stuff because I don't know how to I didn't know how to do it because I'm trying to just like get through that part and just meet up in person.
That's.
It's hard
like
to be like cheeky over text.
You don't know this person.
Yeah. So you're just trying to not sound like a serial killer. You read that and you're like, this person's annoying me.
Well, maybe I enjoyed like when Garde sends like emojis. They're the weirdest emojis ever. It's like a weird bear with.
Well,
like,
you have a
heart.
rapport now, so.
Well,
And
even
he's
the-
Russian. Those are Russian emojis.
Even in the beginning,
you don't have access to those.
He ended. So true.
we don't get the bear ones. He has all those.
That would be so great.
Yeah, I can't compare our relationship to anything because
No.
it's f***ing insane.
God.
Wow.
Anyways, keep going.
Okay.
Ice cream guy.
I have one other one. This one is the dumbest thing I could have possibly found. This is how I wished I'd have been on Tinder.
Okay.
This is, I think, the only way that you can actually do Tinder and not feel like shit.
Okay.
So this guy matches with a woman named Faith. And he messages her saying, so how often do people do wordplay with your name? And she goes, a lot, crying emoji, crying laughing emoji. He goes, LMAO, I knew it. What's the top 3? I want to try to beat it. She goes, oh God, let me look, hang on. 1, I think I need a little faith in my life. 2, I didn't believe in faith till now. 3, will you be my faith? I don't have any. And so he then, do you think he's going to beat those?
Yeah, he's gonna say something really up.
He goes, I gotta try to say this without laughing.
No.
He goes, in asterisks, Mike Tyson voice. Asterisks, Mike Tyson voice. Will you let me rub my balls across your face?
That is not at all where I thought it was going.
It's so good. It is so good.
Wait, what? That is so f***ing good.
She hated it, didn't
Of course she hated it. Are you serious? She was like, I'm out of here, dude. I wish you well. And he went, cool.
Okay, but come on. You laugh at that.
I'd be about to get
I would be like, let's fucking get ice cream.
I don't know what I would do, actually. I'd be like, all right.
Oh God! Do you think he even wanted to? Like, he didn't actually care about her. He just saw the name and he's like, "Oh, I've had this one for years."
It's like my chance.
Honestly,
Finally, my Mike Tyson bit comes
I
in
would
handy.
hang out with him more than the fucking band.
Well, yeah.
No, well,
that's
I would
so funny.
have unmatched him after the first message, after the like, how many dudes mess with your name? I feel like that's on every app too. Everybody just kind of like takes the name and does like a like.
That's all they have.
That's all they have to go
all
off
they
of.
have.
You don't
But
have anything.
But I'm like, like Hinge just got like prompts now. Like I'm like, comment on some of the stuff that I like.
Hinge, yeah, is a little bit
The
better.
prompts are a little cringy.
They can
totally.
be, but they can also be.
What's
like,
the update?
fun.
What's the update on that?
Wait, is that it? That's the end?
That's all. That's
Yeah,
Reddit.
it ends. You're not going to go much past the
didn't
Mike
respond?
Tyson joke.
She didn't
I don't know.
respond?
He didn't show if she responded or not.
Yeah, she definitely unmatched after that.
I would laugh so hard if they were like
It is
together.
That is unbelievable. I have more. Well, yeah, I have faith in them.
Oh my God. Please stop.
I actually want all of us to go back on our dating apps and find all the old messages.
No,
Yeah.
I've never been on one.
Oh yeah, I want those.
it's been a long time. I don't.
I'd love to see Shayne's.
No,
I
God
would
no,
love to see Shayne's.
I think we can get that.
no.
Okay.
We just have to get his phone.
Let's get that.
Let's get
Let's
that.
ask those 2 scary women to get it for us.
No, they won't.
Helga!
No, they won't get it. We need the men.
Oh my God. You need to stop this now. You need to stop this. Not on this podcast.
I don't scare you, and I'm a big scary woman.
Russia, you scare the shit out of me.
Do I?
Yes.
You're probably the scariest person on this cast. I'm just kidding.
I see that as a compliment. So
Yeah, I know. That's why I gave it to you.
So you don't actually mean it.
No, I mean it. I think you're scary as
I'm going to show up at your house.
Okay, I take it you are the scariest person.
Okay, show up at my
And
house.
I'm gonna
I'd open the
take
door.
your phone.
Yeah,
Fine.
I believe you.
I'm bringing ice cream for you.
No.
For Garde.
That makes it way
Oh,
scarier.
you can bring it for Garde.
I'll just dump it in his face, and he'll be like, yes.
He's a monster with ice cream. Anyways,
Another subreddit that's very popular. I don't know if we've covered this on Reddit stories before. It could show up at some point, but there's a subreddit called Malicious Compliance. And it's very fun because it's where, situations, this specifically happens at work a lot, where you have a boss who's telling you to do something, but you know that by doing it, it's going to fuck things up. Or like, it's just like, they're telling me to do the wrong thing. So this is malicious compliance where it's like, all right, I'm going to do what you're asking me or what you're pressuring me to do, but you're not going to like the results. Like, I tried to warn you, but all right. So it's compliance in a malicious way.
Okay.
So here's a great example.
Okay.
I don't think your kid will like my candy, lady, but whatever. Since there's only a week left of summer, I decided to take the kids to the local amusement park today. As I've gotten older, the rides have gotten a little tougher on me. In addition, my daughter tends to get motion sick rather easily. I don't like the way motion sickness pills make me feel, so I always take a Ziploc baggie full of ginger candy along to prevent and soothe nausea. Today, I had chewy mango ginger candies, hard plain ginger candies, and hard lemon ginger candies. For those who've never had ginger candy, it is spicy. The lemon ginger is probably the mildest. The plain ginger is just plain hot. The mango ginger are sweet and spicy, but they also stick to your teeth like crazy. They're definitely an acquired taste. As we are standing in line for the log ride, I pull out my baggie. I choose a lemon one, as does my son, who's 13. My daughter, 12, asks for a mango one. While I'm finishing a mango one, I hear the kid in front of us tell his mom that he's around 7. He wants some candy. His mom distractedly says she doesn't have any candy. The boy says, but she does. He turns to me and asks for one. I tell him I don't really think he'd like my candy. By this time, his mom has focused in on the interaction. As the kid starts to whine that, of course, he'd like my candy, his mom just huffs and says, you got a whole baggie. Can't you just give him one? Come on, don't be greedy. Oh, you said the magic word there, lady. I say, all right, I dig out a lemon one. I'm not completely heartless. That's when the kid whines that he wants a mango one because mango's his favorite. I tell him lemon is better, but he insists on mango. I tell him it's kind of sticky as I hand it over. The kid rips it open, shoves it in his mouth, gets 3 quick chews while my kids stare at him. Then he actually starts to taste it, and a look of horror comes across his face. He screams and tries to spit it out. He's jumping around, flapping his arms. His mom is panicking and asking what's wrong. He's screaming that it's bad and it's hot and he wants it out. His mom tells him to spit it out. That's when I pipe up to say with the very helpful, it's really sticky. What's left is probably stuck in his teeth. He'll have to wait for it to melt off if he doesn't want to chew. The mom looks at me in disbelief and a shrug. Then she asks what the hell I gave her son. Probably should have asked that sooner, lady. I answer, ginger candy. It's good for nausea. I'm pretty sure I'd be dead if looks could really kill. We got to move up in the line 2 spaces, though, because she whisked her kid off to a water fountain. I'd like to think the kid will think twice about demanding things from strangers. Plus, it was entertaining. Overall, the kids and I counted it as a win.
What?
Yeah. So
Okay.
that just a case of a kid asking for candy, and it's like, this is really
Yeah.
spicy, don't take it. But then the mom being like, give him some candy.
I feel like that could have been so easily avoided too. Like I feel like the dad could have just immediately been like,
I agree.
"This is ginger candy."
No, he
doesn't
could have been
want
like,
it."
no.
"Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
We're so afraid to say no to people.
Right.
I'm talking about myself mainly, but like, lady, no. And also, if she called me greedy, I'd be like, then absolutely not.
yeah, exactly."
That's why the kid's like, no, he has one.
right, because his model is this woman, his mom.
She's
who
like,
is
give it to him. Don't
just
be greedy.
Just freaking give it to him.
The log ride.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that'll teach them a lesson.
The log ride is kind of intense. You're just basically underwater the whole time. What is the point of that ride?
It's fun.
Do you have bad luck on water rides? Like,
Yes.
You're the one who gets wet.
you know the one at
Yes.
Disneyland where it's like the circle?
Yeah,
You know those
yeah.
types
Yes.
of ones? And it's like, all right, it's Russian roulette with
Yeah.
water.
I love it.
I actually think I have really good luck on those rides.
Really?
I do not get wet.
Oh, I get
I do not
soaked.
get soaking wet. I've rarely
Where do you sit?
I don't like choose the circle ones, it's kind of at random, I
Yeah.
feel like. The log ones, yeah, if you're in the front, back, whatever, it can be a little different. But I've been fairly lucky, and other people will just get drenched.
Oh, that's
Even
great.
the Jurassic Park one, you know, where like the little
The things
thing
pop
comes
up
out and it's just like a little bit, and maybe like 1 out of every 10 person. It's always me.
That's
Really?
great.
Yes.
That's part of
Damn.
the fun, I feel like.
Yeah.
On hot summer days, I'm like, I'm down for it, and
Yeah.
then it still doesn't happen. No, I really,
Poor
my
guy.
luck, it's funny because I'm really not too superstitious. Like as you know, I'm very skeptical, but I do believe, or I can't help but fall into the belief of like, oh, I have luck in certain ways and bad luck in other ways. And Courtney's even like flagged it and been like, yeah, it's kind of true that you have bad luck in certain aspects.
Maybe
do you
it's
have-
good luck that you're not getting soaked on these frickin' log rides.
Where do you think you have bad luck?
I have bad luck with traffic. I just kind of get screwed. I've had many times where I leave a place at the same time as another person, and I show up like 20 minutes later because I got stuck in a traffic thing while they didn't. Like, if it just happens. I can have bad luck with parking sometimes. It's a lot of car-related stuff. It's small things. I've said like I have bad luck in small ways, and then I think I have really bad gambling luck. Which I'm grateful for because I'm like, I have no inclination to gamble because I have such bad luck with
Yeah.
it.
The itch.
But I have really good luck in plenty of other ways. So
Huh. Do you feel lucky?
yeah.
I think I'm overall.
I
a
feel
lucky
lucky.
person.
H and I have this thing that we always have really good timing. Like everywhere we go, we'll show up. And we're like, oh, this place was supposed to be busy.
Yeah.
And we'll get in line and we'll order. And no lie, there'll be like 10 people right behind us.
You'll like start the trend.
and I'm like, damn, we have really
That's
good
really
luck
cool.
with that.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
timing,
yeah. I've noticed
really,
that
really
too.
good luck.
That's awesome.
Yep. Pretty cool.
Yeah. It's the little things that are the big things.
We're kind of running out of time, but
No. 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 I love this.
we're gonna do more of this because Subreddit Explorer is very fun, and Reddit stories we're covering mostly Am I the Asshole? So
Yeah.
this is for all the other things that aren't gonna be covered there.
Yeah.
There's a bunch like Tales from Retail and then Tales from the Front Desk, which are great.
Oh, those are so good.
There's one called Just No Mother-in-Law, and it's all about nightmare mother-in-law stories.
No, don't get me started.
I found a story. We can maybe read it next
Too close.
time.
Too close.
Oh, no.
I found a story. We can maybe read it next time, but it was about a mother-in-law who tried to wear white at a friend's wedding, and
I don't understand why people do that.
the mother-in-law of the groom tried to wear white to the wedding,
And that was on purpose.
and then the story is about the OP purposefully spills a drink on her.
okay, that's a
So
That's the
maybe
TLDR
next time.
right
I'll
there.
save that one for next time. And then I'll read a couple of these. There's a great subreddit called I Don't Work Here Lady. And it's about people being mistaken for working at places. And
God.
then there was one where the person was like, I worked at a Target and there was a Hobby Lobby across the street. I ran over to Hobby Lobby after a shift to grab something, and I was still wearing my red shirt with the Target symbols all over it. A 20-something girl comes up and says, "Do you know where I can find a glue gun?" I paused and just kind of looked at my shirt and I said, "You mean at this store or like at Target?" And she just stared at my name tag for a long time and sighed a heavy sigh and quietly said, "Sorry, I don't know where I am."
Oh, poor girl.
Totally throw me off.
Yeah, there's another one where it's a teacher. They go, "This happened a few days ago. Sorry for the formatting. I'm on my phone. I work as a substitute teacher at various local high schools. I'm 24, but obviously look younger, according to this teacher. So the angry teacher comes up to me and goes, 'Why aren't you in uniform and no phones during school?' I thought he was talking to a student, so I ignored him. And then he goes, 'Excuse me, don't ignore me,' he said as he snatched my phone out of my hand. I respond, 'What the f***? Give that back. I'm not a student.' Teacher says, 'That's detention for swearing at a teacher. You will get your phone back at the end of the day. Now you will come down to the office and tell the principal about how disrespectful you're being.' By this point, I thought it would be funnier to let him complain to the principal, who I play netball with, and watch his reaction. He was raging, saying I deserved to be suspended and that students always had their phones out, yada yada. The principal and I were just trying not to laugh before she told him I was a teacher too. I say, 'Now give me my phone back. Don't you have class to teach? Because I do.' I've never seen anyone get so red."
That is so awkward.
Big, scary man.
She wasn't scared by him.
Yeah, the principal.
But I was scared.
She and the female
I was
principal.
scared.
She and the female principal were like, "Yeah, you, dude."
Yeah, but I was scared.
Rasha, we need to talk. Can I say one thing? My friend, was at Zara, and she has impeccable style, and she was just standing around. I wasn't there, and a woman went up to her and tugged on her shirt looking for a tag. She thought she was a mannequin.
Yo,
I'm not even making that up.
That's cool.
She has impeccable style, and when she stands, she'll stand like very like.
She'll
and
stand, she'll stand still for like 20 minutes.
A woman went up to her and looked on her shirt for a tag, and she was like, "Ow, ow, ow!" And she's like one of the funniest women ever. And apparently, she was like, "I'm not a mannequin."
And the lady was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, got it.
She needed her to talk.
Like, wait, sorry, what did you say? Oh, okay.
I think the woman was like, and just walked away. You know, like at a mall or like Zara, like people
Totally.
are like a little like so aloof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That I think she literally didn't even like become a human at that point.
Oh, I relate.
She became the mannequin.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm in a weird fugue state when I'm at a mall.
Yeah, you want to die, and you're always starving.
I love the mall.
You are always
I
hungry.
hate the mall.
What? It's
I'm
so
so
fun.
sorry.
I don't love the mall too
I
much.
hate the
It's
mall.
it's a little stressful for me.
I love the malls.
You're always starving. You're in a rush, but not really.
But you have,
always hungry.
you have
Yeah.
everything you need around you.
I wonder if there's like a psychological. Have you ever? This reminds me of, and we'll end it on this note. It's kind of the same thing where whenever you go to a bookstore, you have to shit. It's a real
No.
thing. It's a real thing.
No.
It's a real thing.
I think it's because your brain is like, oh,
No, it's
relaxing
a real thing.
and
I'm not
reading.
alone on this. In the comments, sound off if when you go to a bookstore,
yeah.
it suddenly makes you have to use the
How
bathroom.
many bathrooms have you destroyed in bookstores?
None.
Shayne?
I
I feel like they don't even have good bathrooms.
no, they
there.
don't.
So I
but
would
it's
say
it's a thing, and I've experienced it where it's just like I don't have to, and then I go to a bookstore and I'm
Huh.
looking around the bookstore, and all of a sudden I'm just like, what the fuck?
It's a good laxative.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because people like sometimes like read on the loo, you know?
Who reads on the loo?
Before phones? That's what I
Oh,
was
we're going
doing.
back to the
I think
beginning.
we've had this conversation where I'm like, how long does it take some people? Because for me, it's quick.
Oh, I will
Oh.
set up camp.
Hours.
I'm in and out like Superman going into a phone booth.
Wow.
No.
Like,
I
in,
take
out,
like the day.
done. That's crazy.
awesome.
Oh yeah, like Tuesdays.
Yeah. Done.
Tuesdays are
I'm
your
there.
shit
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a blast.
Weird subreddits, weird combos, the best.
Thank you for exploring subreddits with me.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us, Arasha.
Thank you. I hope we are all a little less scared of each other now.
Well, I hope your plan doesn't come to fruition and you don't attack one of us when we.
It won't be you guys. I'm asking you
Oh
to be
my
on my
God.
team, and we will attack the rest of the cast.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
We can make it more of like an experiment where we don't do just one cast member, but we actually do all of them, and that way we can like collect some data on who's more afraid of big scary women. Versus
Let's
men.
ask Reddit if we should. do
Yeah,
it.
let's terrify the rest of our cast. That should go well. I definitely won't end up getting divorced in that process.
All right, fine. You guys are part of the cast now, so
Oh,
I'm just gonna do this alone.
Oh, great.
Great.
All right.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye out for that. Thank you, Arasha.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. Let us know if there's other subreddits that I should cover the next time we do this.
Yes.
Tell me the weird ones.
Yes.
All right.
Tell us how to kiss.
Yeah, and tell us how to kiss. All right. Bye.
Bye.